can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United lose at the Amex at Brighton and Hove Albion on the South Coast, sir. Tale of the season, if we're to be fair, especially as it relates to Manchester United on the road against a top 10 side. Started well, didn't take advantage of our chances. Wow, we could really use a really good striker, or even an average striker would probably go a long way these days. Second half, weren't nearly as dominant. Brighton had much of the ball, better chances. A lot of it was speculative outside of the box stuff, but the real story is Andre Mariner has got to be the worst ref in a league full of bad refs. The fact that they allowed Brighton to basically stifle every single break we did with tactical fouls. They tactical fouled us all game. Basically no yellow cards. Moise Caicedo was playing right back against our boy Marcus Rashford on left wing, and he must have tackled him 4 or 5 times. No whistle, no yellow. Unbelievable stuff. And then they get a handball penalty at the death from a free kick that shouldn't even happen. And you know what? I'm a little salty. I feel like Brighton, they're not a rival, but they're becoming that team I hate the most outside of our rivals. Because, you know what? Everybody's puffing them up in England. Everybody, like the Wrexham of the Premier League. Everyone's talking them up all the time. But they remind me of like a poor man City, whereas like they've just fucking tactical foul the shit out of everybody, stop all transitions, and then lead into every foul like they got like tomahawked in the back. That's not the point. The point is Manchester United should have killed them off in the first half. Didn't. We lose. And hey, look, we got a top 4 race. I told you it'd go down to the last game of the season. It's going down to the last game of the season. How we feeling? How we doing?
I told you it's going down.
I told you. Arsenal, we're going to bottle it.
That's my call.
Yeah, it's not your call.
No,
I knew that.
everyone knows. John called the bottle at Arsenal.
John.
I called the title race.
I'll give you the bottle. I thought maybe.
You called Villa top 10, and I'll give you that.
I outperformed myself even on that.
I called the Wout nobody train as well.
You were right. I'll tell you what. More importantly, though, I think you even gave him more credit than he deserved a couple months ago. Slate. He is worse than we could ever
I came in hard on him. Hard.
You bring him on.
He scored 2 goals of the world.
No, he's terrible. He's the worst player I've ever seen play for Manchester United in 20 years. Anyway.
Excuse factory's turned into the whinging factory, by the way. Look, refereeing isn't great in England. It's been that way the entire season, so I'm not going to just completely cry foul. This is a strong Brighton team. If you actually look at what they did to Wolves, they're on the up. They're trying to get into Europe for the first time in their club's history. We went away to the Amex. Should have been a draw. Just like the FA Cup final, I think you're battling this team, including extra time for over 200 minutes, and it's scoreless. That's just what this is. Like right now, with our injuries, we're pretty much an even match for Brighton. They're on the rise. We're kind of hanging on. Like I would say, in our good form, we would easily beat them when our attack is humming. Yeah. We have our proper center backs, and the back line is not makeshift with Luke Shaw back there, who's doing a good job. So I kind of credit United for taking this team that's got all the shine. We got all these injuries. Our attack is sputtering, and we're just like neutralizing them in their house. Should have been a draw. And like at this stage in the season, you look at that 11, you look at who we got to put out there. Tony Martial wearing gloves in May.
That is a storyline.
Here you go. It should have been 0-0. And you know what? It's not over till the fat lady sings, and Brighton got a penalty right before that, and it's brutal. It's a tough one to take, but it's not like refereed all day. I think the takeaway is United is like hanging on. The wheels are rattling, and we're taking this Brighton team that everyone thinks is like the best attack in Europe and just like absolutely neutralizing them for 200 minutes, and we got unlucky. Sometimes you get unlucky, but what happens when you get unlucky? It's on to Cincinnati. It's on to West Ham. It's on to that numpty David Moyes. We got to do the job there. We need 3 points away. There's some tough fixtures. This team's going to make it tough. You can see we're fading fast. So it's all going to come down to the next game. And like Brighton we didn't get a point. All right, West Ham, let's go. On to Cincinnati. That's the mentality here at Manchester United.
We control our own destiny. Our destiny is in our own hands. The best team we were going to play in this last run out, we just played and we lost to.
Oh, you keep crying about the ref.
What'd you say? I haven't even talked
You
about
keep
the ref.
crying
yet.
about the
We
ref.
talked
Yeah,
about the ref.
keep
You
crying
want me to
about
go?
the
You want to go? The ref was terrible. He lost control of the game.
No, I'm just saying,
Forget
it's
the
just
fact
like-
that he gave away a free kick at the end that made no sense, or the fact that they allowed them to basically foul us with impunity. They fouled us all day.
We couldn't score.
The same-
I think everyone's gonna
agree.
talk about the
Hold
ref.
on,
We
I agree.
couldn't score.
I agree.
That's
But
the
the same thing
problem.
happened in the FA Cup semifinal. They did the same thing, and that ref also let them get away
Yeah,
with it.
but the refereeing
This
in
was-
England this season has been
I'm just,
shit.
I
So,
have
like,
to call
just-
this out. Andrew Mariner, he sent off
Yeah, but-
Casemiro twice this season. He barely looked at VAR. He looked for a second. He barely did it.
It was a lockdown handball. It's a
It's
lot.
such a-
and it's
it's-
clear as you can get.
It's not going on target. It's literally not going on target. There shouldn't have
No,
been
it's
a
not-
corner in
it's
the
not
first
about
place.
that. That's not- has nothing to do with
I'm
it.
not going
It's a
to. I'm not
penalty.
going to whinge with the ref. He's a terrible ref. He shouldn't even be a ref. The refs in England are a joke. But what are you going to do? The point of the matter is, United should have won this game, but they didn't do enough. First half, played well, didn't take our chances. How many times have we said that this season? Second half came out dead duck. How many times have we said this season? And then at the same time, your bench, it's thin. The players you're bringing in are not going to be able to have a real impact on the game. Anytime Wout is hitting your pitch, you're in trouble. And that was the same thing. He came on at the end, and it's like playing with 10 men. And that's not the point. The point is we're a thin squad. We've been playing a shit ton of games. We're playing like a game every 3.5 days for 4 months, and this team is broke down, beat, tired, and we're just running out of gas at the wrong time. They got one on us, ha ha ha. And you know what? The funny thing is, they're becoming that like team that you're gonna dislike even more. Because guess who just?
But who would you?
Guess,
What game would you rather win? The
guess-
FA Cup semifinal.
Yeah, of course. You'd rather
or
go to a
this one?
final. You'd rather go to a final and play City.
We always
because the
knew
cup final-
Brighton. When we broke down the last games
We thought
before
it was
the end
gonna
of
be a
the
loss.
season, we always thought it'd be a loss. And I actually thought we played decently
Should've
well.
drawn.
We just couldn't score. I think the takeaway from this game is Tony Martial, bluffer.
Yeah.
Anthony, bluffer.
Yeah, he's a
like,
bluffer.
here's the deal. You got to score these chances. The 100 million on the line. Champions League music on the line. Manchester United, it's like, look, Brighton's playing well. You got to score. You got to put the sword to them. We got none of that. The only player that we have that can do that is Marcus Rashford. Oh, by the way, Casiedo, all over him, sir. All over him. White
Fouled the
on
shit
rice,
out of him.
baby.
Fouled him all day. Yeah, he's all over him because he got away with every foul in his locker. He should have been.
No, but
Should have multiple
look,
yellows.
I mean, this is just the whinging about the ref. I hate that. It's just like, look, this is the way the game's played. Look at who's going to win the league. What do? Tactical fouls. Stop complaining about we got to do it.
But they
I don't
even
like it
do
in the game.
They don't even do it as much as they used to. Do
I
it because
don't
they're
like
such a
it
good
in the
team now.
game. I don't like this in the game.
It ruins the game. It
I
made the game
agree.
unwatchable, bro. And he lost control of the game. The whole point is he lost
Yes,
control
but
of
that's
it.
what this leads to. Is it basically leads to a fouling contest, and that's not what anyone wants to watch. But it's not a priority for them to get it out of the league. But here we're both playing the same game. Rashford just got taken out of the game, and Anthony and Martial got nothing. And then we got Wout off the bench, and this is Manchester United here.
Wow.
I'm like, again, I'm in the pod room. Ruud van Nistelrooy, great striker. You know, like
RVP.
RVP,
Rooney.
Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez,
Cole.
Burba, got them all.
York.
You know,
Like we got. I take a Welbeck.
we have them all on the
take a
list, and
Welbeck.
that's the issue at United. And why is that? Why is that a problem? Is because you can rewind the tape.
No money.
Beginning of the season, you're gonna literally keep Martial, and that's it at number 9. You know, like outside of Ronaldo, who wanted to leave the club. Martial's the only plan you got, and then we brought in Wout. Like, that's the problem. So, like, you can't make decisions like this as a director of football or as the CEO of this club and then expect us to easily qualify for the Champions League. And that's the problem. At the end of the day, at Manchester United, it's the ownership, it's our director of football just like absolutely bottling it, and it's going to be a nervy ride. So, hey, United never does it the easy way, I will say.
Ever. Not in 99.
But I did not expect
Not
a win.
08.
I did not expect
No,
a
nor
win.
did
A
I.
draw wouldn't
was
even
fair. Draw was fair.
Draw wouldn't even helped us that much. If you look at 538.com, the odds for top 4, Newcastle 94%, United 85%, Scouse Bastards 14. So with this loss, we do give the Scouse Bastards some life. That being said, it would take like a serious choke job.
Like an Arsenal choke job, basically.
Yes. But West Ham, that ain't going to be easy either. So
No, it won't. And we have difficulty playing on the road, right? So we're lucky we have a couple relatively good fixtures at home to finish the end of the season, i.e. Wolves, the game that the American Devils are going to. They're going to figure out a way to get there from London. There are rail strikes going on in England. This is nothing new for the English folks listening in, but that just adds a nice little cherry on top, little flavor of our upcoming trip. But this is a big game because Wolves, we should be doing the job. Fulham last game of the season, you don't want to leave it to them, but it likely will go down to then. But if you can get a win against West Ham, that takes a lot of pressure off of you, but we got to perform. 2 days rest, it's going to be difficult. West Ham, they're out of the drop zone at the moment, but we have had David Moyes' number. It gives me confidence. They're not a great side. They can get you. They're a dangerous side, right? Every team in this league, even the teams in the bottom, are dangerous sides because on their day, they're fighting for it, and they're playing against Manchester United at home. They want to big up in front of their fans. So this is going to be a massive, massive game. On to Cincinnati, like you said, on to West Ham, to the London Stadium with some of the most charming fans in the EPL. But it's about getting a result, and we need 3 points. Probably deserved a point at Brighton. Fuck it. We don't talk about what happened before. Let's focus on the next game, and it's a big game. Big, big game in London. All 3 points. No excuses.
Sir, how are you keeping up the excuse factory and the whinging factory at the same time? You're working overtime, keeping those 2 factories going. How is it possible?
I'm a multifaceted gentleman, sir. I can do 2 things at the same time. I can whinge and make excuses because you know what? This game, dude, it was exciting in the first half, and then he just lost the plot. I don't want to whinge, but I can't help it, sir. It ruins the game. It's like City used to do it. They don't even do it this much anymore because they get caught out. But
I'll tell you what, a team fighting for top 4 complains about the ref. Quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Devils, you like the Muppet Take, you want to support the Whinge Factory, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/AmericaRedDevils. We post a behind-the-scenes episode every single month. Tons of benefits. You support us, you keep the podcast ad-free. That is the way we want to go in 2023. If you want to support us as well, check out our store, AmericaDevils.store. Tons of merch there. Anything you pick up supports the pod. Also, check out our website, AmericaRedDevils.com. If you're interested in contributing to the blog, you can email us at AmericaRedDevils.com. It's all about getting the fan take out there. That is what the America Red Devils is all about. Fans, that Muppet take, the bias take. We're not trying to outsmart anybody. We just have the passion of 2 crazy fans sitting on the couch. We appreciate everyone in the America Red Devils community. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews, other ways they can support the podcast.
Great way to support the pod. iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews, the American Devils podcast, wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. Helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And even better, we got a couple left. We've got a couple of our glazer out American Red Devil design green and gold scarves, and we're giving away. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on either iTunes or Spotify, ideally, and send a screenshot of that review to AmericanDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick back and ship a free green and gold scarf. Send it straight to your door anywhere in the world. I mean it when I say anywhere in the world. We are sending them all over the great US of A. Also send them to Canada, Sweden, Spain, Hong Kong. Get them while they're hot. Here's a great one from DCard74. Great. Love the show. Recently discovered it, and it's a great way to recap the games. The guys give great energy in the show. Keep up the great work. Thank you, DCard. Excuse Factory. Whinge Horse. How we feeling, Whinge Horse? Tell me about the game. Tell me how great we did.
Look, I'm calling balls and strikes
Balls
here
and
on the
strikes.
podcast. Balls and strikes.
Balls and strikes.
Balls
Go
and
to
strikes.
the last game of the season. John
You're
called
whinging.
it. We should make a
Look at
list.
the soundboard.
We should make a list. Turn it up.
Your lips are moving and you're complaining about something. That's whinging.
We do a lot of that on the pod.
We?
Oh, yeah. You don't win.
All right, let's get into it. Brighton 1, Manchester United 0 at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League. That lineup, Dave saves world number 1 in net. Delo left back, Shaw Lindelof center back, praying Wan-Bissaka on the right, Fred, Casemiro, Bruno midfield, Rashford on the left, Tony Martial, and Anthony. How are we feeling about this lineup? What were you thinking?
No major surprises in the back four. Maybe you see Delo get a rest from Malacia. That wasn't the case. Everyone expected Shaw Lindelof. I did think it made sense on paper for Fred to have like an extra little bit of a powerhouse midfielder instead of Eriksen. I thought we would have gone for 4 midfielders, just given how solid they are in midfield, and that probably could have been a good move given Anthony did have some good chances, but he squandered all of them. But that front three, it's dynamic, it's attacking. You think it's got to be able to do the job. I feel like Martial Came back hot since his injury and then is like faded. Like he had a really great chance in this game and shot it right at the keeper, and that was the chance. We had a lot of chances, to be fair, but this 11, Alexism, it's got to be good enough to even beat a Brighton on the rise, because on our day we're better than that side even with this 11. But it don't matter about on paper. It matters about performing and showing up. And today we showed up, but only for the first half.
Look, Sancho on the bench, Eriksson on the bench, Sabitzer on the bench. You have Magoo as well. Obviously, you don't want to see him out there.
Your boy Wout, just waiting in the wings, waiting to.
I think the key issue with this 11 is we did not run Rashford through the middle. It's a lot to say Martial's going to go do it for a full 90 away. Rashford's the most lethal player we got. I think you got to send him through the middle here. We kind of went with him on the wing. Just not enough teeth in attack. And Brighton, what's crazy is we played them in the FA Cup semifinal. We got a good taste of them. I thought, we do have the quality. We should be able to beat them. But let's get into it. First half, 2nd minute, Antony, great chance. Bruno picks him out. Got to be going in if you're the 80 million pound man. Got to be scoring.
Chance almost came too early. Not his classic left curler, but it was a really good opportunity. He's got to hit the target. Has to do better. Antony, when these chances come, you got to make the most of it.
4th minute, Lindelof with a terrible pass right to Mitoma. De Gea takes it in the head, but Brighton should score. Could be 1-1 in 5 minutes. De Gea with some good saves as well. I'm going to say 2 or 3, like proper De Gea saves. This was one of them. He kept us in it. He kept us in the FA Cup semifinal, keeping us in this game, keeping it 0-0 until obviously the pen. But you got to give De Gea a shout here as well. 20th minute, another great chance for Antony. On the left, he hits the side netting. 25th, Bruno finds Rashford over the top. He can't quite control it. Casemiro with a banger just over from a corner. 28th minute, Rashford with a great turn and shot. The keeper saves. 39th, this was it.
This is the big one.
Great chance in for Martial right at the keeper. Has to do better. Must do better with this chance. But again, I'm not like the angle. It was tight. I could kind of tell it would be hard for him to get it out from under his feet and place it. Half chances here for United, but we should be putting him to the sword. 40th minute, Rashford gets stomped on. No card, no nothing. Rashford was getting bullied a little bit, but that's got to be a part of the mind games. Ref wasn't having it. Then you got to play a different way. But that's
it's preposterous.
But
bro. I know I'm not whinging, but I am whinging. It's preposterous, bro.
We're Manchester United, dude.
If you get fouled every time you break and they don't give a yellow card, then all you have to do is foul them every time. All they do is foul us every fucking time.
This is such a soft league as it is. This is the England should not be this soft.
This is why it's soft.
Like, stop with
They
this.
make it soft, bro.
No, this is soft. Saying everything should be a foul is soft mentality.
I'm not saying everything should be a foul,
It's
but
a
when
way.
the guy is on the break and they tactically foul you over and over again and get no punishment, then they'll just keep doing it.
Lebowski. They've been calling it this way the whole year. Like, you touch them, you're going to get a red. It's like,
no team makes more fouls and gets fewer yellows in the EPL than Brighton and Hove Albion.
Well, then we should know that, and then we should play accordingly.
We should play in the middle because they literally put their best player.
I just think it's like this
on
is
the
excuses. I don't need excuses. I need points. That's the
whole
point.
I see it, bro. What I see is like the game got ruined by not
Here's the
officiating.
deal. When I'm watching that game, I'm like, yes, this is about the same as every other game this year, and the refereeing has been atrocious. But I'm not going to, how can I get upset about refereeing for 38 games? I can't. So it's just like, this is the way the game is now, and you need to adjust accordingly.
They're not all this
That's
bad.
the point.
They're not all this bad. It's just this.
They
was
are, like,
this was very bad.
This is the exact same as the FA Cup semifinal. The
No,
exact
that was
same.
a better ref. They had a better ref. It was a neutral ground, actually. This was way worse because the second half was a joke, bro. It was a joke because they knew they could get away with it. They kept doing it.
It doesn't get me going. It's just more of like, you got to prepare for that, right? So I think you have to, when it comes to refereeing, you got to know who the ref is. You got to know what the game is. As soon as if I was on the pitch, as soon as I saw how it was going, you have to adjust. There's no like, let's just complain about it more. That doesn't win, And that's part of the problem with this United team is that there's a lot of complaining, like Bruno, top complainer, right? And there's a lot of whinging, not a lot of doing. And that's the difference between people
Bruno
who win
was
titles.
Involved in all the good chances created.
How many?
Bruno is like the most popular scapegoat for neutrals.
I'm
and
talking
for
about
fans.
he is a great
Best player on
player,
our
but he's
team,
also the best complainer. Yes, people have strengths and weaknesses, but I'm saying like there's a lot of whinging on this team, and we got to get over the whinging and get to the winning. That's all I'm trying to say. Is a little bit of a mentality. You're not a mentality monster if you're crying to the ref. That's just not how it is. That's not how you win leagues. That's not how you win titles. Second half, 67 minute. Bruno, nice hit. Good save again. Casemiro with another rip in the 74th. Double sub. I thought Ten Hag waited a little too long here to get these players on. Looking for the kill, looking for the goal. This has to be 3 points or a bust here. Sancho and Sabitzer are on for Anthony and Fred. So Anthony, you can bring him through the tactical fouls here.
Well, you don't care. It doesn't matter. Then gloss up 7th minute, big tactical foul. 79th, there was another, no yellow. Doesn't matter for John. Ruins the game. What do you think of those subs? I thought Anthony, he had chances in the first half, and then he lost his head in the second half. He was getting fouled, not as bad as Rashford, but he also just he gets so heated and loses his shit sometimes, and he lost his shit today and needed to be pulled earlier. These subs should have come arguably 15 minutes earlier because they did have an impact. Sancho's okay, Sabitzer was okay, Anthony and Fred were fading. He's usually pretty proactive. Today he wasn't.
No, it's just the tactical fouls I don't like in the game, but it's a part of the game. And when you go away and the ref is against you, newsflash, this is Manchester United. This is just the way it's going to be, and you still need 3 points. That's all I'm going to say. What is you have tactical fouls, you just lay down and die? It's no, we got to go on and keep trying to win it. It goes against us, it hurts us, but this is the way the game. Since City came into the league, Pep came into the league and just started doing this.
They started it.
Newsflash, we haven't won a title.
Well, that's not why.
So well, if you want to win one, then you got to start doing these tactical fouls. And I feel like when we do it, we get yellows.
We always get yellows. Yeah,
exactly.
We do it. We do it. Come on, Casemiro did a good one, and someone else did a really good one. I think it was Anthony. We get yellows right away. That's the problem. Is there's no equality in this league. It's so all over the fucking place. There's no continuity from game to game or even team to team. I'm done whinging about the ref. I'm done.
I'll tell you, there's a correlation with how much you complain about the ref and how little we win from an EPL title perspective. So that is true. It's you're winning, you're not complaining. 84th minute sub, Wout on for Martial. That's what we needed for sure.
That's your
Definitely
game.
He's going to come in.
He's going to have an impact.
Game changer. 86th minute, Solly Marsh with a wavy run, curling just wide. We were hanging on here. 90th minute, Daves with a big save. We let Brighton come on to us late. And it led to ultimately the unfortunate event, the one that's got us fired up this morning. Penalty to Brighton, handball from Luke Shaw. Madness, a moment of madness. Hand above the head, hitting the ball out. Brutal.
At the Amex, Brighton will feel they deserve this tonight. But
he did the wrong. McAllister did the wrong celebration. Clearly, you got to do the crying maw pie when you score a penalty against United at the death. I mean, instead of he put the fingers in his ears, but he should know his history with Brighton and Manchester United. He has to avenge that celebration because maw pie scored the penalty, did the crying, and then we beat him with Bruno goal.
And now Maupay plays for Everton. So
I know, but still, there's
the last laugh now?
They're Brighton United, that would be, if he did that would be just all-time banter. You got to know it.
Instead, he celebrated like he won the World Cup. So you know what? He's going to the Scousers. Let him have it.
Look, here you go. This stat line tells you a lot. 22 shots to Brighton, 16 to United, 6 on target for Brighton, 5 to United, 60% of the ball to United's 40%. They frustrated us. They had a lot of the possession. They had a lot of shots. Obviously not too dangerous because they were not on target, but
they had fewer fouls. That's all you got to know, bro. We had 14 fouls. They had 10. You watch this fucking
here's the
game
deal.
and you're they had less fouls than fewer
so
fouls.
So here's where all the
That's
people
joke,
whinging are going to just get a little truth. XG for Brighton, 2.3 to United's 1.27.
They had a penalty.
All the
0.9 from a penalty.
Yeah, but it's all the wins in the world ain't going to change that. And most importantly, the one takeaway that nobody's talking about, complaining about the ref, complaining about not being able to score, complaining about the penalty, just all this just complaining. The wage bill for Brighton, £28 million. Manchester United, 223 million pounds. That's the point. You look at that roster, you look at how much money we paid for it, and you look at what Brighton's getting out of pretty much nothing. Like 10% of the money spent from a wage perspective don't even get into how much the players cost. And they're taking us toe to toe. That really is, to me, the key takeaway is how inefficient United have been under this ownership and with our director of football, because we got Wout Weghorst running around with his head cut, like a chicken with his head cut off, doing nothing. And Brighton is getting the ROI 10x to United. And oh, by the way, getting more XG at home. And that's not a good, that's those things, not a lot of whinging. Those are just straight up facts.
They are probably the best run club in the EPL, and we're in the bottom 3, bro. We're like one of
There
the,
you go.
know,
Yeah,
the only,
exactly.
we were the worst, and arguably Chelsea are run worse now at the moment. I got Bowley's,
Yes.
Bowley's taking a run at United's mantle. Everton, money they spent and how fucking shit they've been, they're up there. They're in the relegation zone of poorly managed clubs, but United, if you look over the last decade, no team has pissed away more money, given away more shit contracts, and just like flailed in the wind than Manchester United under Ed Woodward.
That should be the talking point, but
that
instead I'm hearing United can't win away, and
I'm
it's
talking
like
about
that's
this
just such
individual
a
game. The
No,
reason
but
we have
there's
the
a
squad we
narrative.
do that's overpaid, overfluffed, with Wout Weghorst is your second in line.
No, but
number
the problem
two.
is like these games happen, and the narrative is like Ten Hag can't win away, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, look at how bad this team is and how much money we're paying it. It's like that's the problem. Like, you look at this makeshift team. We don't have backup center backs who can play. We're playing our left back at center back. We don't have anyone who can score a goal for the life of them.
Nobody.
We got these inflated contracts that you can't get off the books because we paid bad players to stay on for no reason. We have a makeshift squad. That's what I see. Is Ten Hag is like
No end in
literally
sight.
dragging
No
this
end in
team
sight.
across the line for Champions League football with both arms tied behind his back with this like makeshift team that is like literally on insane wages. And you have this like Brighton team that's like, you said it, best run team in football. And we're pretty much equal, which is hysterical because we spend like 10 times more money on our team. What does this mean for the table? Ooh, shitty. Number 1, 33 games played with 79 points. Arsenal, 34 played, 78 points. Whoo. You could always be a Gunners fan. You could, I'll tell you,
the best
we
is
don't
okay.
even hear from the
The
Arsenal fan
yeah,
that we know. We don't even, like,
nothing,
literally
nothing,
no,
nothing.
like, we texted him when they went behind, and
like
there's just
that.
nothing. There's no comment. He doesn't even acknowledge it. It's this over.
No, the best is their narrative is now changed. Like, we didn't bottle it. We didn't bottle it.
This is arguably probably like
If we bottle top 4,
back-to-back
we'll admit it.
seasons of literally like playing amazing and then just like falling off a cliff right when it mattered. Like, and that is the definition of bottling it. And the fact that Arsenal fans act like they waited a long time. Like it was like all January. No.
last
We're
20%
not going to
of the
win the
season.
title. No. Then they beat us and they were like, got a little fired up. Kept winning. They had some like late winners. I forget exactly who they were against.
Yeah, they did.
You know, like the 98th minute, then they won, and then that's when they were like, we're going to win the title.
And then 4 draws in a row,
And
bro.
then they just literally have bottled it. Just straight up bottled it. And it's like, and that's something that, you know what United can't do. Can't bottle top 4 because we are in it right now. 33 games for Newcastle, 65 points. They look like they are going to get third. United kind of bottling it. We were second, and we're just fading down the line all the way to the end. If you really think about it, where we should be, it should be probably third place with daylight. Where if you look at how far we have dropped, it is not a good story for United. 33 games played, 63 points. Scouse Bastards 34, 59. We have the game in hand. Brighton 32, 55. Brighton is like knocking on the door. Liverpool have won 5 in a row. They are coming. That is really the concern. That's the issue. United, we had so much daylight here, and we have bottled it. Away at Newcastle, just got demolished. Tottenham, the draw, giving up. Like those 2 points that we would have gotten just hanging on to a 2-goal lead. That's very Arsenal-esque. I do know our squad is depleted, but that has to be the narrative that we can be laughing at Arsenal, but man, we should not have made it a race for top 4. We have made it a race for top 4.
Yeah, it will go down to the last game of the season, and, you know, blame, who you going to blame? The players, the manager. I think this is squad depth. I think we've been playing so many matches since the World Cup. He's been relying on the same players. We got some injuries in the same time. Like you said, if number 1 is Martial, number 2 is Wout Weghorst, you're in trouble, bro. You're in real trouble, and that's the difference. Is like, where's the end in sight? We don't even know what's happening in the sale process that continues to drag. Even if there is a successful sale of Manchester United this summer, it's going to be too late to affect the transfer window. So it's going to be another time where Ten Hag is fighting with his hands tied behind his back with Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh, like heading down to Barcelona, the Paella brothers. Who knows what they're doing? But the sooner we can get the Glazers out and get that crew who's running front office at this
Probably
club
can't
out.
even find a good restaurant. They probably can't even find a good restaurant in Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona. There's no good food in Barcelona.
They're probably getting like pickpocketed on Las
plastic
Ramblas.
paella,
Can't
the
find a
ones
good
that- yeah,
paella. You know,
exactly.
That's like exactly where they're at. All right, let's listen to the manager. Bald man.
Every defeat is a disappointment, but in the end, when you lose in the last second, that is, of course, annoying. And I think the first minute sums everything up. We create a good chance. We were not clinical enough. Then in the attack after, we concede a big chance by a giveaway from us. The ball on the head from David. And in the end, we also gave away a goal. And that's annoying because when you, in the end, if you can't win because you don't finish the opportunities, then don't lose.
How disappointed are you with the penalty? Was it just inexplicable? You know, been so hard all the games, had such a good season.
He played very well, but the annoying is that the free kick before, that's never a free kick. And I have seen really bad tackles today. And sometimes without whistles as well. Every attack you make with perspective and they kick you. And then is there a block where there's a fair block, and from that block it's a free kick and it's a corner, and then then is of course disappointed handball and in the dying seconds and you can't react anymore.
Did you feel the referee lost control?
I think I just explained it's not about me to give a judgment about the ref. We lost this game. We make a mistake in the end. We didn't take our chances. But as I said, of course there are some disappointments.
Carl. Your team seemed a little bit fatigued in the second half compared to how it started. Are you concerned that you've played too many games this season and limping to the end?
No. I've seen our physical output last games, and still we're going to higher levels. We're performing really well, and we improved during the season, but especially in the last part of the season, we are still going up.
Are you pleased with it?
No excuses, play like a champion. That's Eric Ten Hag. I mean, he makes comments about the fouling, talks about how we are fit. It's not too many games for Manchester United to play.
It's not too many games.
That's what he says. He says we're
He's
fit,
not.
we're good. That's
he's,
right.
He's not foreman of the Whinge Factory.
We
or the
got a
Excuse
next
Factory.
match, sir.
Go into
if
it.
you had a
Let's go.
whinge, you wanted to get in, you want to get a whinge in.
I got nothing, bro. I'm done whinging. I'm done whinging.
It
We
felt
don't-
like you were going again.
I ain't going, bro. I could just tell the frustration in
This
his face.
loss, I could
He
tell
wa-
it got something in you. There's something about this loss.
I don't like teams that like ruin the game. But what am I gonna? I'm done complaining about the ref. I'm done complaining about the officiating. I'm done. But Brighton, you're on my list now, bro. They're like, I'm telling you, outside of our rivals,
The
that's how, like,
Seagulls, come
Scousers-
on. The
No,
Seagulls.
fuck them, bro. I hope you get washed away in the ocean.
Glenn
I hope-
Murray, like an
that-
absolute legend. Are you kidding me?
legends,
Like-
yeah, bugger off. Like, go back to the championship. Let's send him down.
Sir, you hold the pie record. The meat
Okay,
pie
okay.
eating
Go to the.
record
Let's
at
go to the
MX.
hammer. Who are we playing? We're playing the Bosch team. Let's go, bro. Get into it.
All right, we got a next
Pie
match.
record. I'll show you a pie record.
Meat pie. I bet you you're going to attack some meat pies. By the way,
Bet your ass we are.
America Red Devils
Abroad.
going abroad
next weekend.
Next weekend. And oh, by the way, trains don't work. Oh, by the way.
There's no direct flight from Manchester to London.
Yeah.
On a Saturday.
Yeah. Oh,
That's-
by the
that's,
way,
that's different.
train takes like 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you want to drive like 4 hours and
5
30
hours.
minutes, it's like crazy. What is going on?
I don't know. Call us, England. Let us know.
Like, what is going on with that in the UK? I get it. Like, it's crazy. It's like Boston, New York is farther, and it takes less time to drive than Manchester to London.
The train's faster.
But Manchester, if the train's 2 hours and 15 minutes, like driving can't be more than 3. But it's like four and a half, 5 hours, and it's like, oh, I can't believe.
We're looking at rental
look, we're
cars.
jinxed. That's all you got to say is like we're jinxed. Like we're finally going back to Old Trafford. Me, at least since 2019. First time in the season tickets. Can't wait. Train strike. Let's go.
What's new? We'll get there. I was looking at car rentals last night. Don't worry.
But before that, we got a next
correct.
match: West Ham versus Manchester United, London Stadium, Sunday, May 7th, 11 a.m. Pacific. Where do they come up with this kickoff time?
I know. What is that?
2 p.m. Eastern. If you live on the West Coast, there are no more 4 a.m. kickoffs for the rest of the year, which means you're not going to get up at 4 a.m. till at least August. Something to celebrate, something I'm celebrating. You got to celebrate the small victories here. Lifetime versus West Ham. We've won 73, drawn 32, lost 46. First time we played them, 1911, 2-1. We lost FA Cup. The Hammers, last 5. David Moyes laying eggs to United, helping us along the way in every competition here. FA Cup beat him 3-1. In the league, we played him October, beat him 1-0. David Moyes has just been L against us. He's been giving us wins. Close games, we always win. I'm a little nervous. He hasn't played spoiler yet. This seems like the perfect place for him to win or pip us. West Ham coming in. They beat Ghent 4-1, Bournemouth 4-0. Lost to the Scouse Bastards 2-1, helping our rivals. Lost to Crystal Palace 4-3. Lost to City 3-0. I'm not confident given everything we have going on at United right now. Given the injuries, given our away form, I'm nervous. West Ham playing the 4-2-3-1 under David Moyes. Antonio plays up top. Bowen, you remember him. And Fabianski, great bridge troll in net for West Ham. Obviously, got Declan Rice as well. Tricky team, going away. United having trouble scoring. Makeshift back line. Antonio's yoked up. Could he boss us around? I don't know. I think it's going to be a nervy one. We should win. Need to win. Must win, like you say. Must win if we don't want to absolutely have like a serious nerve fest.
Which we will.
Which like we
Knowing
will
this
be
season-
like driving 5 hours to Manchester in a rental car on the wrong
Must
side of
win.
the road in a must win against
not only the
Wolves.
wrong- here's the best part.
And
Here's the
we're
best
gonna
part.
go like jinx it all.
It's not only
Sorry.
the wrong side of the road, it's also the wrong side of the car.
No, I know that.
I've done it. It's brutal.
No, I've done like a 5-hour drive in Australia. It was like
I bet their highways are better than England's.
it's not safe. I'll let you know. Driving the other side of the road is not safe.
Well, if you're used to the other side, yes. Excuse factory. I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. Let's hear it.
It's not safe. Injuries. United, Martinez out, Donnie out, McTominay. That one was sneaky. We got like no update on McTominay, and he's been gone. And a player that I think we could use. That one has been tough. Also has played in a back three for Scotland. Could do a defensive job for United. Not saying he could play center back, but, you know.
He'd be useful. He's useful to have
A
around.
good sub.
Yeah.
Usually fit.
High work rate.
High work rate. Can score a goal.
Put in a
Score
tackle.
goals more than Wout.
Yeah, anyone
Varane.
more goals than Wout.
Need him back for the FA Cup final. Garnacho. This one he's kind of been back, but he hasn't featured.
He's coming, apparently. He's on his way.
It's lagging, though. And then Tommy Heaton is out as well. Given those are the injuries, what is your starting 11?
De Gea net. I'm going to do a back four of AWB, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia. Give Delo a blow. I'm going to do Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksson, the classic. And then I'm going to do Rashford up top. I'm going to do Sancho on the left. And I'm going to do Anthony on the right. Chance for him to make up for his performance. He should have had a goal. He's due a fucking goal. And he should have had a goal yesterday. And we needed it. Who's your 11, sir? What
Do you put Malacia at left back or Delo?
Correct. Malacia. Delo's getting a break.
I'm going to say the same 11, but Delo. I think it picks itself. I think you got to go Rashford in behind. You got to stretch him.
Number 9. Just put him
Exactly.
number 9. He
Yeah.
would have done better at number 9 because Moise Caicedo couldn't have been all over him. Right back. Like he would have gotten a goal at center forward, but Martial's fading too, bro.
Booking.
He's fading, bro. Those
Like,
gloves.
sometimes I feel bad about the takes I have early in the season. I was like, this guy's a grade A bum. He's can't do nothing for Sevilla out in Spain. Like literally loaned him there for 6. He doesn't want to play for United. Whinges about United. Goes to Sevilla, does nothing, and is injured like half the time.
And he's
I was like, and he came back.
Starting number 9.
He came back. He's been injured like most of the time and hasn't scored at all. And that's exactly what he did on his loan for Sevilla. So like, the reason I know he's a grade A bum is when you complain about
widget. Is that widget or is that just cutting a fool?
That's cutting a fool. You know, like you complain about the team that like gave you your stardom, and then when you leave that team, you do nothing. Because like if you're a dog, you go to Sevilla, you score 14 goals or something because you're just like pissed at United. You want to prove yourself.
Try 4.
He does the opposite. He just does nothing.
Yeah.
And then we're like, you don't bring that guy back. We brought him back, and he's done nothing. So this whole idea that we got to complain about Martial is just like, it's over. Martial has been over. It's the Glazers. It is the director of football. They are the people that decided a player who doesn't want to play for United, who then leaves and does nothing on loan in an inferior league. That's the guy we need at Manchester United to lead the line. And that's an irrational football decision. So you have to blame the people who made it. The whole slating Martial at this point is like,
no, it's not worth it. And it's not.
It's been over.
It's not his fault that he's still in the squad. It's not Wout's fault that he plays for Manchester United. That is like a dereliction of duty.
It is his fault. He touched the Anfield sign. It is his fault that he celebrates.
It is
like
his job
he won
that
everything.
he doesn't.
It is his fault that
act like he's been there before. He hasn't been there before, bro. He hasn't played for a top side anywhere near a top side. So
it is his fault. He doesn't score any goals.
No, he is.
That is a fact.
He's an objectively poor player.
I think I could have put one in.
You can't. You can't.
I dropped the shoulder. I put one in.
It's not. But like I said, it's not his fault. He's on the team. He shouldn't be on the team. But we have negligent owners who don't give a shit about the club. We're just trying to build
that
cash.
needs to come through more.
And you
That's
have
the
morons
in
the front office. We have morons in the front office.
Fans
Don't let them
taking
fool
the
you,
bait.
bro. If we had anyone come in competent and buy this club, the first people out would be Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh.
But
Those
first,
guys
for
are
the record,
numpties.
and nobody wants to say nothing about him. The reason why Wout's playing for United is because of Eric Ten Hag as well. Like
he was this whole Dutch thing. He was available. He was available for €2 million. That's why he was cheap.
It's not like a bad. I agree that the budget was low, but the reason why the low budget guy is a Wout is because of our manager. So like it's okay, and the reason why he plays all the time, despite being horrific, despite not being able to help us in any spot to do anything to win a game when it's 0-0 and we're putting him on, that makes no sense.
Yeah, you have no chance of winning.
Is because he's Dutch and because our manager's Dutch, and Dutch people like Dutch people. It's the way it is. It's like LVG. Yeah. Dutch manager, sign a bunch of Dutch players. Yeah. Bring in Ten Hag. You're either Dutch or you play in the Dutch league and you come here. It's like that's just the way the Dutch coaches are. It's just And look at Jesse March at Leeds. He's an American. Sign American players. It's a very common thing in football. But sir, what are the bookies got?
West Ham underdogs plus 230, plus 270 for the draw, plus 105 for United. Given the odds, sir, what is your score prediction?
I think we lose. I think we lose 2-1 to West Ham. I think David Moyes does it. It's due. He's due. They're due to show up against us.
I don't think he's ever beat Manchester United. I'm going to call 1-1. I think we hold the lead. One of those nervy games, and we literally last minute bottle factory. 1-1. It's going to be nervy all the way to the end, bro. Fulham is going to be a must win on the last day of the season. Let's get into some news.
United in the news. Manchester United progress with Marcus Rashford contract talks in hope of pairing him with Harry Kane. Exclusive, Eric Ten Hag is keen to tie his forward down to a long-term deal. No shit, Sherlock. Will he take the deal? What deal does he want? Apparently, our great CEO, Richard, I'm going to grab beers with you and sound very nervous, Arnold.
Meet Sweats Arnold.
Sweating is going to, he said no more $200,000 deals. No one's going to make more than that.
What an idiot. All-time
After
idiot.
signing like 5 deals,
Giving
like
Jadon
of
Sancho
crazy
18
wages.
million pounds a year, bro.
Hey guys, new policy, not going to sign anyone to big wages. Well, here's the first contract you're going to sign after making that statement. And by the way, it's going to be more than 200,000 pounds.
As
So
it
it's
should
like,
be. As it should be.
So then what are you doing opening your mouth?
He's an idiot. He's
What are you
never
doing
been in
opening
the
your
seat
mouth?
before. You make rookie mistakes. If you've never been a CEO of
Rashford is like
a top-tier football club, let alone a football club, neither of those guys are qualified. And that's the end of it. They don't know what they're doing. They're
Here's the
flailing
deal.
in the wind, bro.
It's not the issue that you give big contracts. It's who you give the big contracts to. Erling Haaland, big contract. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. They should pay him more.
Even Veron Casemiro.
They should pay him more. They should pay him more. He's worth more.
They couldn't pay him enough.
Exactly.
They couldn't pay him
So
enough.
maybe it's the fact where there's certain players you couldn't pay enough money to keep them because they're that valuable, Marcus Rashford being one of them, and maybe the guys like Jadon Sancho shouldn't get that type of money because it's not working out, right? That's really the problem with United is where we spend and when we spend. That's the problem with United. That's literally the issue. So with Marcus Rashford, this is a break Wayne Rooney's record, retire a United player, United legend, wear the shirt for life. This decision from Marcus is a big one. And the way things are trending in world football is you'd think it would go the way of the NBA, where Marcus Rashford's not going to sign a long-term deal because he wants the options open. He doesn't know who the next owner is going to be, so he's not going to tie himself down. Like when Harry Kane did the 6-year deal, that was an error, so he's not going to do that. So the new thing is player power, big wages, probably shorter contracts. So I'm thinking 3 years plus an option would be like best case scenario on the term, at least $400K, $500K, highest paid player at Manchester United. That's what it's going to take to get it over the line. In that type of term, you have to give it to him. You have to like literally say, we want you to be the talisman, the player at Manchester United. That is the only type of offer that's going to get him to stay.
Yeah, I don't think they have to go to 400 would make him the highest paid player at Manchester United. I do think you're right. I do think like they're going to want to tie him down for 5+1, and he's going to be like, let's do 3+1 because there will always be a market for Marcus Rashford. He's only going to get better. He should be like one of our guys, if not the guy, the top 3, like him and Bruno and pick another player, Casemiro, Varane, whatever, Martinez. But he is the real deal. He's getting better and better. But what you see is if he had other players around him, he'd be even better. He'd be even better because when he doesn't score, we're so reliant on him. On Brighton, if he's not scoring, nobody else is scoring. Tony can't score. Anthony can't score for shit. And even our midfielders who were scoring goals early in the season are not contributing the same way they were. Bruno, I thought was fantastic. But Casemiro has looked off a step for sure. Does something really well and then gives the ball away. Marcus Rashford, there's got to be no doubt in your mind. You sign this guy up and you got to do it sooner rather than later because we're in a window of uncertainty with everything around the sale, and that's not going away. It's not going away.
Well, there's a lot of key points. And so if I'm a director of football, these are the things I'm going to be thinking about when it comes to the value I'm going to have to pay. So I think it's really important to understand how much money other players in the locker room are making. So like Jadon Sancho not playing well, not even playing part of this season because he's, I don't know, haven't got any color on that.
Unfit.
Rashford's going to be like, I'm at least that. So you're at least 375.
Plus 10%.
So this guy is not even playing, is making $375K. So therefore, you're like, you got bad players on big money. So then if you have a good player, then you got to pay him even more. So like the strategy of paying players is like, and oh, by the way, you ain't winning anything. Oh, by the way, you're like selling the club. Oh, by the way, like he's the only guy scoring. You got no leverage. His contract is like literally like, this is it. You got to do the deal. So United put themselves in a horrible position of negotiating with Marcus Rashford, right? You remember a year ago, he wasn't playing well.
That's when you lock him up.
He was thinking of PSG. He took a chance. He had a great season, but he's only really hit this form like twice in his career, realistically. And he's hitting it at the time that's going to demand the highest amount of money from United. It's not like he's done this 3 years in a row and this is a no-brainer slam dunk. Rashford is an amazing player. Mank born and bred, that's why we all love him, but consistency has been the main problem. Consistency has been the main problem with everyone at United, but United are absolutely forced to pay top dollar. If you're winning, if you have other good players and other options behind him, you don't have to pay out the nose for Rashford. But right now, when you have bad players next to him making more, you're going to have to pay out the nose. And this is just how you break the wage structure of the locker room. You don't have viable alternatives. And then he has a big year and you're screwed. And United just don't know how to do business. Because ultimately, if you had the wages under control in the locker room and you had other options, this would be a $300K deal, easy as you like.
Be done. It'd already be
Instead,
over.
it's going to be like a Haaland type effort to get him to stay. And that's where the market is for Marcus Rashford. The timing's bad. The people around him and what they make are bad. The alternatives are bad. It's all in Marcus Rashford's hands, and he's going to take us to the cleaners. And I just hope that he keeps this effort and level of form up. I believe it's here to stay. I'm a Muppet, but you have to look at his seasons in the past, and it has been up and down and not consistent. And to pay this type of money, Haaland's consistent. Haaland, everywhere he goes.
You can't have Haaland be the benchmark, bro. Haaland.
This will be a Haaland.
It doesn't matter.
Here's the deal.
Haaland's on like $600K a week. First of all,
Here's
he's
the deal.
highest paid player in the
This will
league.
be a Haaland type contract. If you don't think Marcus Rashford is looking over at City and looking at that guy, comparing himself to him,
who
and
scored
his
50
agent,
goals, who scored 20 more
you
goals.
think Marcus
than
Rashford doesn't have people who are like looking at all the contracts and then who's okay? You
No,
have the
the-
leading
the-
goal
the-
scorer for
it's-
City. They got more players around him, and if Rashford had that, he scored the same amount, and I'm worth the exact same. That's where they're
But he's not
coming
worth
from.
the exact same. He knows that. What he's going to do is look at the
That's
player
not,
next to him in the locker room.
Okay, there are business people in these rooms that are going to be pointing to comps and telling Manchester United that the comp is going to be Haaland. Clearly, they're going to pick the most aggressive contract and say that he should be paid that. That is just what advocation for a player is.
I get that, but that's
Rashford's not going to be
stretch.
like, I don't want money. That's not how it's going to go.
There's a
and
much
clearly
easier
they're going to be
comp.
less money. That like PSG might have a bigger deal. We're going to have to bid a little less.
Bro.
I'm just telling you, he's going to be asking for a big.
No,
this will
I
be
agree.
biggest contract to United, most paid player, and this is our guy. This is going to be a big deal, and that's what it's going to take to get him, and that's what he's going to want. And I don't begrudge him because there ain't nobody else, and we're desperate. But I blame that on the director of football and the CEO for mismanaging the roster.
These are all self-inflicted wounds. It doesn't have to look that far. You don't have to look all the way across Manchester. Look in the fucking dressing room. You have players who are on double what they deserve. De Gea's on double what he deserves. Sancho's on double what he deserves, even more egregiously Sancho. He should be on like less than $200K a week. He's on like $360 a week. Varane, Casemiro, okay. Those guys, they've earned it.
It's still a lot.
They're
It's
still a lot.
It's still a lot
They're
for them.
still overpaid. They're
Yes,
still
they are.
overpaid.
They are.
But we are one of the most poorly run clubs in the league, bro. You have guys who are not qualified to do their job. You gave Jadon fucking Sancho $360K a week, bro, and he doesn't even play on the team. He wasn't even fit for 3 months.
No,
You
but the
gave
problem
Tony
with doing that
Martial
deal
a new
is like
contract in 2019 for £250,000 a week.
I know, but the
and he
problem
goes to
is we
Sevilla
don't
and doesn't play.
understand. The problem is when you give Sancho that type of money, you just destroy the next deal. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like this whole thing.
Take all the
has
motivation
been-
away from Sancho.
This is why we're paying out the nose. It's just because there's just so many errors, and it just all adds up. They all add up, and that's why United
they compound.
it's just like absolutely screwed. And it's because of the inept ownership, and they put guys who don't know what they're doing in charge. Because the Sancho deal just is going to kill the Rashford
Kill you for
deal
a
is going to
decade,
be.
bro.
And as fans, I guess we don't care, but
we
I
do
would be
care.
interested in how Rashford's thinking about this one, given the sales going on. Like, that's really interesting. Is it a 1-year deal? Is it really short because he doesn't know what the outcome is going to be? It's going to be very interesting. And imagine United without Marcus Rashford.
Oh, we'd be fucked. Where would we be this season?
And then Bruno would go. Like, that would just cascade, right? Because then players would leave, and then it's like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Watch the sale. The sale's the one to watch. It's going to change everything.
So you put in another bit of news here.
We got lots of news. We got that.
Put in a mod.
Ahmad, he's going to feature, sir. You want to talk about Marcus some more? Right winger. He's had a great season at Sunderland. He scored 12, 13 goals, had a handful of assists, and his manager, Tony Mowbray, has said he's coming back. He should come back. You know what? If you look at the winger options in this team, Anthony's not even close to locking down right wing. Not even close. It's like he's got so much more to prove. Left wing, okay, if you have some strikers, if we buy some strikers, you got Rashford, you got Garnacho, and you got Sancho, you're good there. Right wing, he ain't it yet. He might be it, but he's still got a lot of work to do. Anthony, with Ahmad behind him, Ahmad is ready to challenge that spot. It's a big step up from the championship to the EPL, but he's got that fight. He's got that dog. He's 2-footed. He can beat a man. He's got great balance, and we need people to challenge for him. So if Acuna has to go on loan, Alonga needs to be sold, and that's it. And I'm excited about him coming back, but this summer is all about this news, bro. It's all about the fucking transfer budget. And it's not even the transfer budget because we spent a shit ton of money. It's like who's writing the checks? Who's negotiating these deals? And when you have like two guys who are like not even close to being qualified to do it at the biggest club in the world, then you're going to get the outcomes we've had, which is like them twiddling their fucking thumbs on Las Ramblas in Barcelona, like looking for Frankie de Jong. What do you expect this summer, bro? If you're the same clown car in charge, like we're not getting.
Well, that's the funniest thing ever was the
leaving it late.
We said we ain't getting Frankie. Everyone on the internet saying we getting Frankie.
As soon as those guys were there, as soon as they were
by the way, when
photographed.
you're there, that's not good news. I said it. I was like, if you're in Barcelona, bad news.
How many times did he said it? I said it. Said this.
That
said
was a call. We got killed for that call.
I think we both agreed. Like
we got killed for that.
If you're
People,
like walking around.
All the Twitter people were like, "Oh, Frankie de Jong. Why would they be there if they're not going to do the deal? Because they're fucking idiots, dude." Exactly. What does it look like? It looks like those guys are wandering around because they have no idea what they're doing, and it turned out to be
they have no idea what they're
some
doing.
not amazing 4D chess they were playing. It seemed that they were a bunch of idiots. But the issue is the rumor is, what do we say? So I'm going to go again. We said the budget would be only 100 million pounds. That's where the rumor is going to come. I was like, it's literally Harry Kane. That's it. Harry Kane plus sales. Like it'd be no more than 100 million net. Club does not have the money. The sale's not going to go through in time. It's going to be real. And this is the classic United. We're going to make top four. We got that 100 million bump from making Champions League. That's going to go to transfers and nothing else. And it happens every time. Under the Glazers, you make Champions League. Slow it down.
Yep.
And it's just because there was a lot of money spent last summer, and that amount of money is not going to be there this summer. It was all on the credit card.
It has nothing to do with
be tough.
it has nothing to do with FFP, bro. There's no such thing as FFP. Like, they've been talking about this for months. If there was anything to do with FFP that existed in actuality in this fucking league, City would not be able to spend the money that they've spent over the last decade. So like people acting like it's FFP, it's not FFP. There is no FFP.
No, we just don't have.
We don't have the money
cash flow.
on the balance sheet. We owe all this money. We don't have any cash. If Qataris came in, they would spend more than 100 million pounds. So these people have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Right now, if the Glazers retain ownership and we finish the top four, yes, it's 100 million because if you look, like you said, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole, you get in top four, you literally get the rug pulled out you the following season. They're like, that's the bar. What they're trying to do, they're not trying to win titles. They are trying to finish in the top four for the money and so they can sell sponsorship rights. And that will happen again.
Yes,
they
but there's also
summer,
like the other side of the coin is the sustainability and spend, where if you pay 85 million for Anthony, that could be two players, that kills you a little bit. It's a backbreaker if he doesn't turn out to be the guy, and those types of commitments are what kill you. Overpaying is what has killed us. At the end of the day, paying that much for Sancho, paying that much for Anthony, paying that much for Ahmad, that much for Palestri, and not having anyone who can play on the right wing is insane. And that's not sustainable because there's a right back that needs to be in there. There's a center back that needs to be in there. You can't just blow 300 million in 3 years on the right wing because you get Ahmad. Why did you buy Sancho? And if you bought Sancho, why did you get Anthony? It doesn't make sense. And that's the problem of United is it doesn't make sense, and we're just burning cash. That is the main problem. Sir, as far as we have a little more
fan questions.
Tammy Abraham, you put in here. That's sad.
We don't need to talk about Tammy Abraham. Let's get to the fan questions.
You want Tammy Abraham?
No, I don't want Tammy Abraham. I'm good. I want two top tier strikers. And to tell you what, if Tammy Abraham's available, he's not a top tier striker because his goals have dried up at Roma, so I'm good.
It's like Tottenham and United going toe to toe for Tammy Abraham. That's setting the tone for the summer. All right, let's get into fan questions. At Oscars Pop. We can't score, and at this point, expect we will finish fifth. Hopefully, the ownership will be sorted out so Erik ten Hag can reshape his roster for 23-24, and we can push forward. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it's going to be sorted for the summer. Just that's the way deals go. As far as fifth, sir, you think there's really a chance we can finish fifth here? Are you like I'm not feeling like that's possible.
Of course there's a chance. There's a chance anything, There's totally a chance. We can bottle it. I don't think it'll happen. I think we'll make it super fucking nervy on ourselves and go down to the last day. But the game congestion is slowing down a little bit. We do have 3 matches in the last week of the season, right? Because we play Chelsea midweek. But we're going to have a break between now and the Wolves game. West Ham's coming quick. But the fact that these matches are going to be a little bit more spaced out should give the team advantage, but like they're not going to make it easy themselves. They never do. This United team. We love to shoot ourselves in the foot and then hobble home.
At MHersey5, keep going back to the fact we need a striker. We had 16 chances. How many more do we need before we score? Also, our terrible away form continues. Bad day at the office. Just tough pill to swallow with the penalty and the way we lost the match. At Miller KDJ, quote, it feels like we downed tools as soon as we brought on the subs. We got burned by playing for the draw. Ten Hag has to work on the squad's professionalism. Standards are not consistent throughout a match. That is a great point. I do feel like in the dying minutes, you would like to see United pushing for the winner. Instead, we were hanging on. It's obviously a way, but Ten Hag says we're in shape. Does that say we're in shape? I think there's a little bit of the mentality that faded there at the end for United.
Yeah, tired legs and lack of squad depth, and I definitely think this team needs to get a little harder because we're a little soft mentality-wise.
At you, Bosun, win the next one, and this one doesn't matter. If we lose at the Hammers, though, top 4 is starting to slip away. This is the concerning part to me where I'm like, we're good. We're going to make it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, we've been enjoying making fun of Arsenal too much, and if we bottle top 4, that will be an all-timer. Like, I don't think Pod might need to take a season off.
Yeah, we ain't never stopping, bro.
I'll tell you, if
you take a season off,
take
a season off, you don't ever get to restart again, bro. You gotta like keep momentum going. You don't be like, we're taking a year off.
Obviously, we're not gonna take it, but I mean, like that will like imagine ending the summer. Imagine ending the summer and it's like no, Europa
League. The Glazers stay. It's like Europa League, 5th place. The Scousers fucking get you. They pip you, and you have the Glazers. Yeah, that life happens, bro, and shit comes all at once. So it's not outside of the possibility.
Shit happens. It's like, and oh, by the way, we fly to watch Wolves just like batter us. Like we drive 5 hours because of a train. It literally has like, I don't know. It's like
lose to West Ham.
We're living in a simulation. It's like we're gonna go to Old Trafford. We're gonna drive 5 hours to Manchester.
Each way, bro.
Wolves is just gonna just destroy us.
It's at home.
I know. All right, sir. Look, that's been real. It's been a great podcast here. Early West Coast. Appreciate everyone listening around the world. You like the America Devils supporters, check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/America Devils. Check out our store, americadevils.store. Sir, give us our top 10 cities last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? New York, New York. Los Angeles, California. Chicago, Illinois. London, England. See you soon. Dallas, Texas. Melbourne, Australia. Dublin, Ireland. Brooklyn, New York. Charlotte, North Carolina. Last but not least, San Francisco, California. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Oof. Never make it easy. This is Manchester United. Always got to do it the hard way. Big game on the weekend. David Moyes, tactical genius. The Hammers. London. Let's go. All 3 points. No excuses. Play like a champion.
Train strike. Give them the raise.
Strike. Yeah,
pay them.
Raise.
Like, why are
pay
you paying?
more?
Like, I didn't know trains were this important. You should
are
be paying
very
these
important.
guys a lot more. Like, don't let them go on strike, please. Everyone have a great weekend. Sir, what a night.